All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Salady. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Honors Project Coordinator. So the goal of this recording today is to do a brief recap of your Honors Project requirements and to prep you for your very first Benchmark 1 submission due in May of this year. So if you are watching this webinar, hopefully you are a first year honors student. So this would be if you had your very first semester here at OSU in undergrad, autumn of 23. So you would have seen me back in October for your survey presentation. The very first thing you will do pertaining to your honors project is due May 3rd. We're going to talk about Benchmark 1 quite a bit today. The submission link for Benchmark 1, as well as the resources we'll talk about today, can be found in your ASC Honors newsletter and on our website. If you are watching this recording to prep for the semester ahead, then we will have Zoom drop-ins tomorrow on January 24th from 1 to 4 p.m. But if we are watching it, at mid or towards the end of the semester to prep for that deadline, we've all been there, so no worries. You can email me and we can set up an appointment or converse via email at any time, I promise. All right, so do you really need to complete an honors project? For most of us, yes. The only exception would be if you are in the arts honors program or if you are pursuing a single degree where your secondary college is arts and sciences. So even if you petitioned to be on the legacy GE, even if you joined honors after your first semester, and even if you're pursuing a dual degree, you got to get that honors project done. So I'll give you a heads up that most of the colleges at OSU will eventually incorporate an honors project of their own at some point. So if you're thinking about leaving ASC to get out of some kind of honors project, I will say you can run, but you can't hide. And I will also clarify if you are doing a dual degree, both of those degrees within arts and sciences, even if you have honors on both, you only need to complete one honors project total. All right, so where did the honors project come from? So you're probably sick of us saying there are brand new honors requirements from the past 2-ish years that you guys have been great troopers about. So we're not going to give a refresher on all of the honors requirements today, but I want to show you how things fit together. So in addition to the grade out portions here, the academic rigor requirements of our honors program, we're also aiming to include some kind of experiential learning component. So the official new wording from the college is a consistent experiential learning opportunity resulting in a thesis or equivalent experience. I reworded it a bit here into the term overarching project because I don't want anyone to think that a thesis is the only option for their honors project and or that it is the best option for them. It might be the choice that a lot of us choose to do our honors project, but I want to clarify you do not have to do a thesis. That has caused a lot of confusion in the past. So this is exactly from your survey slides in October, so I'm not going to touch on these too much, but I just wanted to make sure you had the official wording yet again. But broken down, here's what we're looking for logistically. So we are looking for a project that spans multiple semesters. Yes, summer term can count as one of those semesters, but no, those semesters do not need to be consecutive or back to back. So common things that we've seen are maybe you're doing an internship one summer and then you wait until the following summer to do another internship or research experience. Maybe you are completing your honors project materials your very first 2 semesters at Ohio State, and that's great, but they don't have to be back-to-back semesters. How much involvement are we looking for? So long story short, we are looking for 6 or more academic credits or 300 or more logged hours of involvement over the course of at least 2 semesters. So ideally, we're looking for 3 credits or 150 hours per semester, but it doesn't have to be this way. So for example, if you are in a research lab where you can only work 100 hours per semester and you want to do that for 3 semesters instead of 2, that works. Let me know if you have questions about that, but golden number here is 300 plus hours or 6+ credits in totality, spread out as evenly as we can. You're going to hear me say this multiple times. Academic credit is always preferred, but never required unless you're doing a thesis project, which we will talk about. I will make the disclaimer here. If you do not need these credits for some other purpose, and you are paying per credit hour over the summer, I'd really rather you just log your hours off the grid, for lack of a better term. And or if you have to pick between earning academic credit or being paid, I really want you to choose to be paid here, again, unless you need those credits for something else. Finally, you will need some kind of leadership point of contact. So for many of us, that person may be built in or assigned. So if this is a boss at your internship or a PI that you're working in the lab with, sometimes this person will be assigned to you, but for other experiences, especially those creative arts projects, you might get to pick your own mentor or supervisor, which is exciting. So the goal of this leadership point of contact is someone who can confirm your hours worked down the road and can advise you as an expert in your field if needed. So benchmark requirements, again, painfully similar to your survey presentation here. In addition to your GPA and those academic requirements that we talked about, this is how we track your intentions on staying in the ASC Honors program. So if you fill out a benchmark requirement, that tells us, yes, I do want to continue my membership. So we're really going to hone in today on the Honors Project planning form that will make up your benchmark 1 requirement. I'll also say this is another common question I get. What do I do if I'm graduating early? What if I won't be here for the full 4 years? The ASC Honors Project timeline is designed to span that 4-year amount of hours here, the timeline, but it doesn't have to, especially if you're graduating early. I want to emphasize that you can begin working on your honors project at any time, even if you have never done a benchmark submission before. So each of these benchmarks are sent to the Honors Project Committee for approval, and you can get more details on each of these benchmarks in the resources that we'll talk about, but we don't need to cover that today. So one last point about kind of the background or the morale of the Honors Project. I don't want this to be an extra, thing to add to your plate here or another experience to just be a checkbox for you. I really want you to aim for something useful, something that allows you to engage with your undergraduate career with more depth and breadth. Hopefully something you're doing anyway with just a little bit more detail here. I want you to pick something that causes you to light up during an interview down the road, something you can reflect on, take pride in, and hopefully if you are on the GEN or the new GE, something you can incorporate into your e-portfolio or Pebble Pad down the road. So again, this is not meant to be, a busy work project for you. Maybe you are a pre-professional student and you need research experience or would like to have that for your application. Let's turn that into your honors project. Maybe you want to take graduate coursework for fun is in quotes here. And you want to turn that into something, we can make that into your honors project. Maybe you are thinking about graduate school, and a thesis project or research is a really great way to test those waters without committing to a 4-year program here. So you're already doing incredible things beyond what is required. So let's document that and turn that into your honors experience here. All right, so what we've all been waiting for, now we'll talk about potential honors project categories that you might engage with. So I want to emphasize your honors project idea does not need to fit into any of these boxes here, or it doesn't need to fit into a single category. We can mix and match, and that is perfectly okay. This is more so we can track trends over the years and to inspire you with potential project ideas if we're truly starting from scratch. So no worries if your honors project does not fit into a box here. That's not what we're aiming for. So we're going to touch on each of these categories a little bit. Remember, we've done a lot of this in surveys, so you can refer to the notes section of these slides or the notes section of your survey slides for more info. But I do want to touch on the difference between a research and thesis experience. Again, this causes a lot of confusion, guys. You do not need to do a thesis project for your honors project or to graduate from the ASC Honors program unless required by your major. Most of the majors do not have a thesis requirement. So for research, this is one of the more popular honors project options. So this is usually contributing to someone else's project or idea, whether it's a PI or a PhD candidate or someone from Nationwide Children's or a research lab back home. So usually you're not exploring your own hypothesis here. Academic credit is definitely possible for research opportunities, but again, not required. If you just want to track your hours with your PI off the grid, more than happy to make that work for your honors project. If you do want information on enrolling in academic credit, there are notes in the notes section of these slides. So remember, an honors project needs to span multiple semesters. So if you do, 2 or more semesters of research, there's your honors project right there. Or maybe you do a semester of research and combine it with a semester of an internship or something like that. So research, usually not exploring your own idea, you're contributing to someone else's project. Maybe within your research lab, you get inspired to either start your own project from scratch or create kind of a spin-off project of your PI's work with their permission, of course. Maybe you're interested in exploring your own hypothesis or research idea. Now we're moving more towards thesis land here. So a thesis is the only honors project option where you must earn academic credit. So you must earn thesis hours here. That's just because it's an arts and sciences requirement. This is not a new requirement. A thesis is also the only honors project option that will impact what is printed on your diploma. So for everyone here, regardless if you do a thesis, your diploma will say so-and-so is graduating with so-and-so such and such degree in arts and sciences with honors. So everyone's diploma will say that. If you complete a thesis project, then your diploma will also say with honors research distinction or with honors research distinction in neuroscience, biochemistry, all that good stuff. So I just want to give that disclaimer, but you do not need to do a thesis for your honors project. I also cover thesis things. I'm the honors thesis coordinator and can also help with research things. So if you ever want to reach out to chat about these or you're interested in what the thesis process entails, please don't hesitate to give me an email. So this is probably the most popular category for honors project options. Probably the next most popular are internship experiences. There is no specific internship site or duties that you must participate in to make this work for your honors project. So I really want you to pick a work site that is of value and interest to you. For some internships, if they're through OSU especially, they may have a course that you enroll in for credit, but most internships do not have that. So remember, academic credit is preferred, but never required unless you're doing a thesis. So you are eligible to enroll in these arts and sciences 3191 hours under myself. Feel free to email me if you have questions about that. But again, if academic credit is not our jam right now, you can always track your hours off the grid. Just have your supervisor confirm them down the road. So for your honors project, you could do a year long, so 2 semesters worth of the same internship. You could do 2 different internships. You can combine an internship with something else. The world is your oyster here. All right, service learning coursework, a hidden gem, a totally underrated project option here. I want to emphasize service learning coursework is not the same as typical community service that you might do with a group you're involved in or even on your own. So service learning coursework, this category only pertains to academic courses that you enroll in with the letter S as in Sam in the course number. So what are service learning courses? This is a course that involves a classroom component, so you learn wonderful things, but there is a built-in community service component. This usually takes place outside of class time. In the notes section of these slides and the one from survey, there is a list of all of the service learning coursework courses that I could find. You can also explore the course catalog, so definitely give that a browse here. Remember that the total number we're looking for is 6+ credit hours of academic credit for a complete honors project. So if you do 2 different service learning courses that are 3 credit hours each, that could be your honors project. But keep in mind, a lot of these courses are 1 to 2 credit hours. So that being said, we could add something more to that 1 or 2 credit hour course. You could physically take more of them. Or you could prioritize a 3 credit hour service learning course. So definitely take a look at the list in the notes section. There are some great courses in there. Also, there are some for regional campuses specific to those. So definitely don't hesitate to check those out. Study abroad is another really popular category. So I will say for study abroad, if you, for example, go to this Explore Planner link, so if you pull up a program that you're interested in, there should be an academics tab. And on that academics tab, it will tell you if that study abroad trip, if you'll come back with academic credit. So if you are coming back with 3 or more credit hours, I have to take that for half of your honors project, no matter how long the trip is, no matter how long you are out of the country for. So if you are not bringing back credit, then that's when we look at the span of your trip. So how long you are spending abroad. So if your trip, if you're out of the country for the majority of the summer or the semester, it's probably good to go. But I would encourage you to reach out if you have questions about this and see if we need to add something to that experience. I do ask when you guys reach out to let me know if you have any specific study abroad trips in mind so I can get you a detailed answer. Please don't say, I want to go to Ireland. What are my options? Because there are 1,000,001 out there, but definitely check out the Global Ed Explore Planner tool. I do it all the time. I can't remember if we touched on the Global May trips during survey class, but I just want to confirm Global May study abroad trips are now acceptable for your honors project if they're resulting in academic credit. So this is study abroad. If you reach out with questions, again, try to be as specific as possible, and also in your benchmark 1 submissions. All right, probably one of our most underrated and one of our last categories here are creative arts projects. So like I said, if you are in a research lab, you might have a PI. If you are doing an internship, you probably have a boss assigned to you or a supervisor. For these creative projects, more often than not, you get to choose your mentor or supervisor or expert in the field. So that is super exciting. So creative projects do need some kind of deliverable or some kind of tangible outcome at the end of the day. So whether this is a video or a children's novel or an album that you produce, we need some kind of end product here. In addition to students pursuing internships, students doing creative arts projects are also eligible to enroll in that Arts and Sciences 3191 course, but you are more than welcome to track your hours off the grid. So in this case, your chosen mentor or supervisor who you specify, they can just confirm your hours for me down the road, and that is more than fine. So this category is very vague on purpose because you guys are coming up with new ideas every day. Some popular examples that I've seen in the past are writing a novel. Maybe you are creating an educational YouTube channel, an art installation. Maybe you're studying abroad and coming back and writing a novel about that experience. So anything that you can work on for 150 hours per semester for at least 2 semesters, or mix and match here, as long as it has a person who can confirm your hours down the road and some kind of tangible end product, that is, a great option for your honors project. So not an official category, but other common ideas that I've seen are things like shadowing, that traditional community service, so not service learning courses specifically, but just general volunteering and or academic tutoring. Now, I will say we're going to talk about the petition process here in a couple of slides. Anytime you are doing one of these experiences or anytime you are picking a more abstract project idea, so not something that fits into one of the categories we talked about, we will require you to complete a petition statement. Stay with me, it's not as scary as it sounds. So for examples like here, for these ones, I will give you a heads up, especially for shadowing. These cannot make up the majority of your honors project or even half of your honors project. We really need to do this as a complementary component for something else. Volunteering and academic tutoring, I think, can be interpreted a little bit differently. Maybe we can combine more of those hours, but for shadowing, especially since that's a more passive activity, we don't want that to be the majority of your honors project because we want it to be something that you are actively engaging with. So if you have questions about this, let me know. So the next slide will have the petition instructions, but I just want to say here too, unless you are doing a thesis, unless you are doing 2 or more semesters of the exact same research lab, or unless you are doing 2 or more semesters of the exact same internship, if it's outside of those project options, you are pursuing a combination project. So anytime you are combining 2 different experiences, we will need you to include a statement of connectivity within your benchmark submission. So the common things I've seen, if you are doing a combination project, so maybe you are combining, 2 different internships or study abroad in an internship, if we're doing a combination project, those 2 different experiences cannot happen during the same semester. So for example, if you go to study abroad and you conduct research while you're over there, if those experiences are happening at the same time, they cannot be used for 2 different components for your honors project, because remember, this needs to be spanning multiple semesters. It needs to be an overarching experience for you. All right, so the petition process for you guys for benchmark 1, I really wouldn't worry too much about this now, but I am happy to answer questions about the petition process or read drafts ahead of time if you want earlier feedback. But for all combination projects and more abstract ideas, you will need to petition, which is not as scary as it sounds. It freaks everyone out. For benchmark 1, if you do want to petition while you are submitting that, you are more than welcome, especially if you have some details nailed down. But this time next year, when you are submitting benchmark 2, then we will require a formal petition statement. So the petition statement can either be preferably as part of your benchmark submission survey, or you can email it to me. So what is included in this statement? We need to incorporate your what, so what you want to do for your honors project, your why, so your rationale, so why this is your chosen project, why this combination of experiences is the way to get you to your end goal, and then your how. So what, study abroad programs are you combining? If you're doing an internship, who will supervise you? How will you look for research experiences? What kind of lab will you be participating in? And then, of course, if you're combining experiences, how do these experiences relate, either in topic or purpose? So if they're similar in goal or purpose, so if they're both allowing you to engage with your major outside of the classroom, or if you want to be a writer and you did 2 different experiences that nail down those career goals, if they are serving the same purpose, then I think they're fair game to make one overarching honors project idea. It just needs something more than the rationale of because I want to, or, because both of these will get me into my professional school or graduate school of choice. We need a little bit more than that. So again, you do not have to submit a petition statement as far as benchmark 1, but it doesn't hurt to start thinking about your what, why, and how a little bit early. So not going to touch too much on this, but just to recap, any kind of group project or group class cannot really be used for your honors project. But if it's an individualized component, maybe you are in a student org where you need a certain number of community service hours, by all means, use that for your honors project. If you are, doing a thesis for the Stamps Eminence program, please don't do two different theses. That's crazy. So in those cases, they can overlap. And of course, let me know if you think of other scenarios besides the ones on this slide. All right, wrapping up here, I promise. The benchmark requirements. So again, this spring, you will submit benchmark 1, your honors project planning form. Now this has changed since I chatted with you guys in October. Back in survey class, I did ask that no one submit benchmarks early. That has since changed. I ask you only submit early if your idea is pretty solidified or has details nailed down, because I ask that you only submit each benchmark one time. So that doesn't mean that it locks you into a project idea or that your ideas can't change. I do ask if things change after your submission, just let me know. That way I don't have to read through 900 Qualtrics surveys again. That is crazy, but you are more than welcome to submit benchmarks early if you wish. All right, so what is benchmark 1? This on the right side is a preview of what it would look like on mobile. Of course, it'll look very similar if you're on desktop, but it is a Qualtrics survey. Should take you 5 to 10 minutes. This does not lock you into your project idea. It is okay to keep it general for now. It's okay to, if your ideas change over time. Again, keep your what, why, and how those experiences combine if needed when you are writing up your project planning form. So just do your best with the details here. It's okay if you are, in between a couple different study abroads right now, or you tell me you want to do research, but you haven't found a lab yet. That is okay. So after you submit this benchmark 1 survey, you will receive a provisional feedback email from myself, hopefully over the summer, so summer 2024, but if not, then very early in fall. So after you receive that email, you may submit benchmark 2 if you wish, but that won't be due until next spring. But this is what benchmark 1 will look like. So very general, vague idea, what you're thinking about doing for your project. It is a-okay if your idea changes over time. So some resources to help with this along the way. You can use these slides. You can use your survey slides. They are very similar to these ones. You can use your Carmen site materials or your honors advisor. You can reference this recording. You can visit our website and in the ASC Honors newsletter. So if you're on our website, make sure you click on the curriculum tab. That's where you'll find all of this good stuff. And then again, please never hesitate to reach out if you have questions about the honors project or, thesis things or research things. We can email, we can set up an appointment. I am here to help. I also want to throw in a plug here for potential funding opportunities. So for example, if you have an internship where they require you to pay for your background check, and not being able to pay for your background check would prevent you from doing the internship. We might have funding for that, or maybe you need a specific software on your computer that your work site is unable to pay for. Let us know. Maybe you have to stay in Columbus for the summer and can't, do that without a little bit of help for your research experience or whatever it is. Please don't hesitate to let me know. There is nothing solid in the works yet, but we are looking at having some funding competitions in the future. So if you have ideas for that or have a need right now, please don't hesitate to email me. We cannot fund everything, but we want to make this as feasible as we can for you guys. So there are resources at your disposal. Please take up space. Please engage with these. They are here to help. And then my last slide here, this would be where we had the Q&A component, but that is okay. So the next thing you have to do would be May 3rd. It's a Friday. That will be when you submit your benchmark 1 survey. So again, the link for that can be found in your newsletter. can be found on our website, all that good stuff. And if you are watching this recording early on in the semester, we will have Zoom drop-ins on January 24th. We'll probably also have some right before the Benchmark 1 deadline. And of course, please, 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 again, never hesitate to reach out if you have questions about honors project things, thesis things, all that good stuff. So I can't thank you enough for watching this recording today to be proactive about your honors project choices. Let me know what you need, and go Bucks. I'll see you next year.